Hi, it's Julia with your Mindful Marital Money Tip to help you learn from my mistakes to flourish in your finances and future. I share these tips because I was in a marriage for over 25 years and gave up my career as an attorney after just a few years of practicing law, very part-time, to become a full-time mom to manage the home and human assets while my former husband was totally in charge of the financial assets. I completely trusted my former husband, and anything he asked me to sign, I did, without questioning or reviewing it. He was a real estate broker and a transactional attorney and had far more experience in property acquisition and business transactions than I did. When we got married, we had very little assets. During the marriage, we acquired over 50 properties. I worked very hard at being the best wife and mother I could be, raising our 4 fabulous children, getting them to and from school every day, and all of their medical appointments, and multiple extracurricular activities, including Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, dance, running, basketball, piano, leadership, swimming, campouts, AP tests, you name it, my kids did it. And I was the air traffic controller, so to speak. Upon divorce, I discovered that I had unknowingly gifted my former husband complete control and use of all of the assets almost 20 years before the divorce. Instead of getting my half of the property, like the law requires in California, the judge said I'm an attorney and I must have read everything and knew what I was doing when I signed the papers throughout the years. He said everything was community property and that I did have a right to it, but he did not make a ruling to force my former husband to share, so he did not. For over 20 years, I thought I was an equal partner in my marriage, and I had no idea that I would be treated anything but equal upon divorce. So how did this happen? I gave financial control to my former husband, and he used it for his best interest. He found the investments, the properties to purchase, the land, rental properties, commercial properties, and single-family homes, and he told me that they were ours. Sometimes he took me to see them before the purchase. He drafted up the purchase papers and he gave them to me to sign, usually when I was very busy, tired, running out the door, or perhaps even after a glass of wine. I had no reason not to trust him at the time, so I signed everything he gave me. We bought them jointly. He had me unknowingly sign them to him personally as separate property, and then he transferred them to our family trust, which he told me we needed to set up for estate planning purposes and asset protection. We never talked about what would happen if we ever got a divorce, but I assumed that I would be treated fairly under California law and get my half of any property that we acquired during our marriage. Upon divorce, I discovered that I was legally liable to the banks for all of those loans on the properties, but that I had no interest in any of the tens of millions of dollars of property. I was actually responsible for the trust taxes too. I didn't even know that I had apparently signed a trust where my name was not even on it as a beneficiary, but rather I was named as the spouse of my former husband. He was specifically named as a beneficiary, as well as our first 3 children. Our 4th child was not even born yet. I didn't even learn the complete value of all the properties until the month before the divorce was final, when my husband filed his final income disclosure statement. If I had taken time from the busyness of raising 4 kids to actually read the documents my former husband gave me and understand them and question anything that seemed unusual or any terms that I did not understand before I signed them, I would not be in the position I am today, where he has 100% control of almost 100% of all the property we acquired over 25 years of marriage. Women especially are very trusting, and we need to be smart about economics and financial matters, especially in our marriages. If anyone in your life wants complete control over money and financial matters and is unwilling to discuss financial matters with you, this is a red flag. This is one of the reasons I've teamed up with Second Saturday to educate women considering divorce or who are going through the divorce process. Knowledge is power. Be informed.